Ever wondered if a 1.4 extender will fix your need for a longer lens? I'm Girish Menon and I just show up on your screen and start talking about photography. I offer you a free video every week that will help you to click better pictures. So please subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out. In this video, I'll be telling you about the pros and cons of using a teleconverter with the Canon 100-400 Mark II lens and about the camera settings to click sharp pictures. This is not the first video that I'm posting regarding this extender, it's the third. And the reason why I'm posting this is because I continue to be amazed by the results. But I've had some comments on my previous videos about people struggling to get sharp photos with it. And so I want to talk a little in detail about the settings that I employ to get those sharp photos. I always choose my autofocus area as single point. I align that focus point with the eye of the subject. You can choose the autofocus area to a smaller area within the focus point for even more accurate results. When we use teleconverters with a lens that has its widest aperture at 5.6, we are limited to using the center focus point. Now the Canon 7D Mark II lets us use 4 assist points with the center point. I recommend not using them because that way your focus can shift, say from the eye of the bird to its beak or somewhere else, and that will make your bird look out of focus. Now let's go to the autofocus menu. Here we have different options which are combinations of 3 main settings: the tracking sensitivity, accelerate or decelerate tracking, and AF point auto switching. So instead of choosing one of these, I go to the custom menu settings, configure my menu 1, select items to register and have them here. They are grayed out right now because I have already registered them on my custom menu. I set my tracking sensitivity to locked on. The lower the value, the longer the same subject is tracked if it leaves the AF point. Accelerate or decelerate tracking. I have it to 1. Canon explains that with 0, stable focus can be achieved on subjects that do not accelerate or decelerate. +1 and +2 are suitable for subjects that move suddenly, accelerate or stop. AF point auto switching 0. This setting is irrelevant for me because it takes effect with 65 point auto selection, zone AF, large zone AF and AF point expansion. Now this is an interesting setting. AI servo first and second image priority. This of course is relevant only when you're using your camera in the burst mode, which I always am, and I always set my autofocus mode to AI servo. When it is set to AI servo, as long as I have my shutter release button lightly pressed down, the camera will continue to update focus all the time. Now with this setting, I decide whether or not my camera should go ahead and take the first picture even if the subject is not in focus when I click it. Setting the AI servo first image priority to release means that the camera will record the first image even if the subject is not in focus. Whereas if I set the priority on focus, it will get going only once the subject is in focus. I set both my first and second image priority to focus. This may slow me down for a couple of seconds if the camera is not able to lock focus on my subject straight away, but I'd rather ensure that my subject is in focus than end up with a bunch of out of focus photos. I found that I need to set my shutter speed as fast as 1/4000th of a second to end up with sharp photos of birds in flight. That means higher ISO values, as high as 1600 even in broad daylight. After all, everything in photography is a compromise. What's the point of using lower ISO values if my pictures are not sharp just because the shutter speed is not fast enough? If the bird is just perched on the branch like this kingfisher is, I can get sharp pictures even at 1,000th of a second, but very often I need a higher ISO value to click pictures because my widest possible aperture when I use this teleconverter is 8. Please note that earlier versions of this teleconverter are not as effective as this Mark III version, but if you follow the guidelines that I've stated in this video, you're certainly going to get better pictures. Now you know all about the Canon 1.4x Mark III extender and how it works, which will help you to click better pictures. I'm Girish Menon and I post a new video every week that will help you to become a better photographer. Please subscribe to my channel so that you stay current.